Daniel Parrella, various histories in the social studies department.
What is the role of a teacher in the classroom?
The role of a teacher in a classroom is to guide students to further develop their educational prowess. It's to create the intellectual inside of each student.
How do you engage your students?
Engagement, of course, is usually through a lecture-based, very standard to that of most colleges. And of course, questioning and further engagement will sometimes lead to debates and recalling information.
How do you monitor the engagement of your students?
Engagement of my students are monitored essentially through just simple perception. With a classroom of only about 25 kids, it's easy enough to pick out which ones are understanding it and which ones are totally lost, if you're looking.
Would you consider letting your students have a student-run class?
There's a lot of variables to that. It would depend on the students and where I felt they were at a level in order to do that. So in some degrees, you're looking at something maybe like a highly challenging AP course, absolutely, because those students are there and those students obviously have already taken the responsibility in their own hands by being in that classroom. Honors classes, there's always a possibility, even the standard classes, but it all is about the individuals, the engagement that would have to be there. So I would say that you could never just hit the ground running in a school year. I'd probably have to observe them for at least a month or so to figure out if that type of experiment would work.
What do you think you need to make a successful student-run classroom?
Well, in order to make a successful student-run classroom, I would have to have, I believe, motivated students. I mean, it really comes down to that. I have no problem with letting students do that, but they'd have to be in a motivational state. If it really just comes down to simply absolutely nothing and they just start talking about whatever and use this time to not further themselves, then obviously it's a failed experiment. It would really have to be a core group of motivated individuals, even if the whole class isn't motivated, as long as there is a leadership role in there that can get them motivated. But there would have to be incentive more than just not wanting to listen to the teacher.
Is there anything else to add?
Not to my recollection, no.